Welcome to issue 335 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel, and joining me tonight is Lex. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. How are you tonight, Daniel?
Oh, I'm nervous for some reason, but other than that, fantastic. Yeah. We are also joined by Chris. How are you?
Oh, plans finally coming to fruition, so I'm doing excellent tonight.
Oh, I'm interested to find out more about that.
Yep.
And of course, the show can't go on without our beloved Steve.
Oh, Daniel, how are you?
I am well. But again, nervous for some reason, hesitant, anxious.
You shouldn't be nervous.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I do want to ask you a question, though.
Sure, of course, anytime.
Okay, so Dan-tastic, what is on your mind tonight?
Well, Steve, I mentioned I was a little nervous for some reason, a little. Mike?
I hear Daniel's nervous.
Oh, yeah, you know what that usually means.
Woohoo! I didn't even write this one. Let's see.
No, you did not. Because why, Daniel? Why are you so nervous? And why is Mike suddenly here?
Because there's a song tonight. There's a song.
Oh, look! Look! I found your guitar.
Step right up, I'll introduce myself. Mastermind with flair, cloak and dagger and a grand design, a villain, debonair. I took a crew, has-beens and rogues, gave them all a name. Shine them up like heroes bright and drop them into the game. Pleased to meet you. Hope you know my name. What's puzzling you is my whole masquerade. There's some sympathy for the villain, applause, renovation. You bought the act and you loved the line, gave us a standing ovation. So I'm pleased to meet you, I hope you know my name. Boy, and what's puzzling is our whole masquerade. Spotlight hits, now cue the name. Songbird pleased to meet you. A most spectacular scheme. Turns out the line between wrong and right is thinner than it seems. Spotlight fades, the thunderbolts. Crowd still begging for more. 'Cause the villain in a hero's cape, that's who you're cheering for. So if you meet me face to face, finally know my name. Been puzzling you all along, bearing helmet, Zemo's the name.
Oh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
So bloody good.
Oh,
Wow.
loved it.
So, okay. Can we talk about this, Steve?
How many hands
yes.
do you have?
Well,
We
okay.
did-
Okay. So, Steve did a little something. I gave him a guitar and vocal track. That is it. So, when I heard this, and then there's suddenly the drums and then the piano, I'm like, what the? I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Who did you?
I will
what
give,
happened?
I will play the raw, just Daniel by himself, super great version at the end of the show, so everyone can hear that. But when I got that track from you, Dan, I was like, you know what? This needs just like, let's like ramp it up, right? Let's like put all that flair because this is so good. So we all know James Darcy, and he did
Wow.
all the extra
Oh.
instrumentals, the backing vocals, everything like that for us. So I can take credit for the lyrics. I wrote the lyrics, but Daniel played the lead guitar and sang, and then Darcy did all the rest of the little shaker and the drums and everything else. So yeah, thank you,
Well,
James. Thank you, Daniel.
Wow, James. That's
Oh.
really cool because like when I did this, it took me a long time because I was trying to do track recording. And then I realized for 40 years, I've been on stage with a guitar and me singing, and I just do that all at the same time. And so I finally just like grabbed the microphone and just played like I would play guitar and singing. And that was like the first time that it really worked out. And I was like, okay, great. But I didn't play with any click tracks. I didn't play with any like metronome. So it almost sounded like I was on rhythm.
Yeah, James did
Thanks,
say,
James.
he did say he didn't record with a click track. And I said, I don't know what that is because I'm not a musician, but this is what you get and do your thing. And then
is amazing.
He put a mask and a cape on it and he dressed it up like from a villain to a superhero. So
oh my God, James, I am grateful to you. That really made the song.
Standing ovation to everybody involved.
Yeah.
In that.
The villain sure congregated for that one.
Yeah. But I mean, Daniel, you're like raw in it. It was great. It was so good.
Yeah.
I do like the raw version more than any of the other ones we've done. So I don't know.
And I'll play that at the end of the
this one
show,
needed
folks.
it.
Like post credits, you'll
that
get a
music.
raw version.
Mm.
Yeah, it kind of added like it. Yeah, just yeah.
Well, it definitely made the source material more obvious.
Obvious. Yeah.
Which sometimes my versions don't always do that. So that was
They
exciting.
don't need to.
Thanks. Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope the listeners enjoyed that one.
I did.
Yeah, next one is next week, right?
I certainly
Yeah, I can't wait to
Uh.
be doing my next song soon.
Oh, I feel like Daniel's got a box to wait. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
No.
Oh, well, I mean, given how amazing that was, Daniel,
Yeah.
maybe you can help me with my plan. I mean, what I was working on in that back room that I disconnected all the security cameras from because it's got to be a surprise.
Oh,
Your
you-
musical and lyrical genius just shone through so much. Hopefully, you can help me privately with no one else around or witnesses while we work magic.
Chris, I'd be delighted. I didn't know you were also trying to write some songs with us. That's great. Of
Yeah,
course.
that's entirely.
I'll follow you. Just lead the way.
Oh, after you, good sir. After you.
Oh, just right here through this door.
Yeah, right there. Right there. Through
Okay.
there.
All right, I'm in. Let's do this. I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah. So am I.
Well, fellas, I got what I came for. See you next
See you,
time.
Mike.
Daniel.
All right.
See you,
Bye,
Mike.
all.
Have fun at Spot World.
Lex, it's just you and me in the lair now that everybody's gone. I wonder if they're
I
coming
know.
back at all.
Are they coming back? Do we need
I-
to pull up security cameras, see what's going on?
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. What's that? Is
I
that
think I
Chris?
hear
Chris?
something. Is somebody coming down the hall?
Oh, hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey, there you
You're
are. What
still
happened to
here.
Daniel?
A funny story. So we went back into the storeroom, and I was showing him my song, like I said I was going to do, and let me tell you, I was killing it, killing. And
Good for
so
you.
he got he was so inspired by it that he just started, I don't know, almost like gushing musical ideas out of his body. And so he wanted to be left alone in that storage room back there and asked me to lock the door and said no one should disturb him ever until he comes out because he was inspired so much. That's totally what he said. And so he said we should just go on and talk about what we were talking about. He'll catch up with us some other time.
Sounds totally reasonable and exactly something Daniel will do. I'm not
Absolutely.
suspicious at all. Let's keep
No,
going.
yeah, of course. The classic tortured genius moment.
Definitely tortured.
Yeah.
Was definitely tortured. Genius. Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of tortured geniuses, hey, let's talk about a villain, shall we, Buzz?
Sounds lovely.
I like villains.
We are going to talk all about, well, I'm sure people figured out from the song, but we're going to talk about the fifth scenario, Baron Zemo. Dun, dun, dun.
Done.
Yeah, the big reveal. Woo! Yeah.
Wait, what happened to
Uh,
Citizen V?
What did happen to Citizen V? Well, that's a story. Let's get into it. Shall we just get into it? Citizen V is Baron Zemo. That was the big surprise. That's the big reveal. Baron Helmut Zemo, the 13th Baron Zemo, I believe. So we talked about Baron Zemo way long time ago. Before I get into any further details, a long time ago we talked about Baron Zemo. Do you guys remember when that was?
I don't. I'm going to take a gander and say it was around issue 40.
Whoa, way high. Chris?
Well, I know it was first issue 2020.
I sort of gave you a hint already.
I'm gonna guess, guys, it had to be early because I think it was earlier than that. Because I think you put him in like while you were still talking about core set stuff. So I'll say about 20, issue 20.
So, no, you're both too high. Baron Helmut Zemo was the 13th Baron Zemo, and it was our 13th show that we talked about him.
Oh.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, it was April 2020. We definitely did it out of order, I'm guessing. So, but yeah, folks can go back and listen to that if they're so inclined. And we apologize for any audio problems in the early,
In those early episodes.
50 shows. Yeah. All right, but let's talk about Zemo, the big reveal, the Citizen V. So settle down. I'm gonna give you a nice little lesson, all right? And it concerns Marvel's greatest mastermind. one of its most dramatic villains, and apparently one of its most committed community theater performers. Because we knew him as Citizen V, the leader of the Thunderbolts. You might know him also as a man in a flowing cape who definitely wasn't suspicious at all. And in the not so shocking revelation that will stun absolutely nobody, because we've mentioned it like 50 times. Yes, Helmut Zemo is Citizen V. I will pause for dramatic gasps and sound effects.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Right. Amazing. Yeah, the heroic Citizen V who appeared out of nowhere with a team of mysterious new heroes was actually Baron Helmut Zemo wearing a mask. A different mask, mind you. He already had one to cover up his disfigured face. So adding another mask on top of the first mask really shows the commitment to the bit, I think, for him. So
Oh, sorry. I hope you didn't do this in the summertime because mask on mask, that had to be
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Now, before we start pointing fingers about him being a villain, let's hear the man out, okay? Let's first consider his upbringing. Most people want to be firefighters or astronauts, professional athletes, that sort of thing. But Helmut grew up with Baron Heinrich Zemo, his father, also a master Nazi scientist. So that could not have been easy for the boy. Imagine every family dinner ending with, "When I was your age, I was already trying to conquer the world." Right? Like, that's a tough standard to live up to. But by the time Helmut inherited the family title, Baron Zemo the 13th, he wasn't just carrying a name. He was carrying generations of expectations, grudges, an absolutely unreasonable amount of purple fabric, because that seems to be his dad's color and his color.
Indeed.
Things just got worse after that. So during a fight with Captain America, a chemical adhesive known as Adhesive X permanently disfigures Zemo's face, forcing him to don his signature purple mask, much like happened to his father. Basically, it was the same, except Dad's mask could never be removed. So think about that for a moment, right? Like one bad day at work, and your Halloween costume basically becomes your persona for the rest of your life. Yeah, right? Like, okay. Yeah. No wonder he holds a grudge against Captain America. Right. And meanwhile, Captain America's like looking all movie star, right? Like ladies are swooning after him and all that sort of stuff. So from a certain perspective, that's enough to make anyone a little cranky. But then it came his masterpiece, right? And we talked about this. After Earth's greatest heroes vanished during the on-site crisis, Zemo is the one who saw the opportunity. Did he conquer the world? No. Did he build a death ray? No. Instead, he assembled a team of supervillains and convinced them to pretend to be superheroes. And that's not a supervillain scheme. That's an improv troupe. Okay? He's just a theater performer, I'm telling you.
Yes, and
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
And every morning, the Thunderbolts had to wake up. They had to remember their fake names. They had to remember their fake backstories. They had to remember their fake heroic motivations. And somehow that worked, right? The public loved those guys, right? The heroes trusted them. The readers enjoyed reading about them, right? And so for a while, Helmut Zemo becomes the most successful fake superhero in comic book history. And he did choose the name of Citizen V. And that's personal. And we kind of mentioned this before, because Citizen V wasn't just like a random heroic name that he chose. The original Citizen V in World War II fought against the Nazis and fought directly against Baron Heinrich Zemo, Helmut's father. In a not so shocking twist again, it was Heinrich Zemo who kills the original Citizen V, chokes him to death. So Dad kills Citizen V, son takes Citizen V's name. Okay. So he's dressing up as like a symbol of hatred, right? Like between these two families.
That's pretty twisted and ironic.
Yeah, it is. It's either like the greatest insult ever committed by a superhero or like the world's most complicated cry for help. I'm not sure which one. Okay. So like we were talking about, somewhere along the way, the unexpected happens. Thunderbolts start enjoying being heroes. They like helping people. They like being respected. And some of them start becoming genuinely better people. So whether Zemo would ever admit it or not, the experiment revealed something very uncomfortable to him and uncomfortable to many folks. People can change, including villains. Okay. Now don't misunderstand me. Helmut's still a bad guy. He still lies. He still manipulated, schemes, attempts world domination as Citizen V on multiple occasions. We're not handing out sainthood certificates here. We're just discussing his backstory. But there is something oddly tragic about a man who spends his entire life trying to live up to a villainous legacy, only to accidentally create one of Marvel's greatest redemption story arcs, the Thunderbolts. So,
Yeah.
so those Thunderbolts become heroes despite Zemo, but they also become heroes because of Zemo, which is a strange legacy for this true villain to leave behind, I think. He is a master strategist. He's a professional grudge holder. He's a man wearing probably 2 masks at all times. And he is perhaps the only villain in Marvel's history who accidentally proved that redemption does work while trying to prove that it doesn't. Let's talk maybe Zemo's powers, because that's Zemo Thunderbolt. That's kind of where I'm at with him. His psychological state. But let's talk about his powers. One might ask, Steve, what are his powers?
Steve, what are his powers?
He doesn't have any powers. Well, he doesn't have traditional superpowers, right? He is a genius level intellect, a master strategist, an expert combat, expert swordsman. He's got amazing leadership skills and manipulation skills. And he does have a slowed aging and a slowed longevity thanks to an exposure to very scientific and genetic treatments over the years. So he does live extra long. So he's like Marvel's version of a supervillain chess master and less of like a powerhouse, right? He wins because he's usually 10 moves ahead of the heroes, whatever their plans might be. He does first appear, he is old. He first appears in Captain America 168 in December of 1973. And this part I thought was fun is he does not first debut as Baron Zemo. Do you guys know what he first debuts as? What his original moniker name is?
No.
It was Phoenix.
And how do you spell it? Like PHO?
Yeah, regular old the Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix. So he's a masked villain seeking revenge for the death of his father, the original Baron Zemo at the time, right? And during the storyline, that's when he accidentally exposes himself to the adhesive X, and then he adopts the name Baron Zemo after that. Like he goes back to his roots or his heritage kind of thing. So yeah,
Okay.
created by Roy Thomas, Tony Isabella, and Sal Buscema. So all right, where is he in the comics now? Right, that's something we want to know. What are his current schemes? What is he up to right now in the comics? He's dead. They killed him off in March 2026.
No,
So
he can't be.
He's very freshly dead.
Very
Yes,
freshly dead.
Emperor Doom.
Usually
he's
the
like
most temporary kind of dead.
Yeah, we don't know yet because we haven't been able to play far enough, like read far enough yet. But I believe it was Emperor Doom who kills him during this whole like United Latveria thing going on. Hydra opposes Doom. Baron Zemo's in charge of Hydra at the time. There's back and forth, and Doom ends up killing him.
Apparently, there can only be one scarred masked villain in Marvel.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
For what it's worth, after Zemo dies to Doom, Zemo's Hydra turns against Doom and attempts to destroy Doom. So there's like, some rivalry going on there. But Doom just obliterates the Hydra people with a dinosaur and stuff. We won't get into that. But fear not. He was smart enough to leave behind himself a AI version of himself. So that might be out there as well. That's what I have for Baron Helmut Zemo.
Well, that's too bad for Zemo that he perished, but maybe we'll see him again.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, people that die related to comics, they stay dead forever. I mean, they never come back. That's never once happened, right?
Never once. They never. Yeah, you're right. They never come back. So let's hope
well,
that.
At least we have Zemo in this game. We can bring him back just for us, right? Relive his glory days.
Wanted to be a necromancer, so.
Well, should we look at the cards then? Because we have a lot of cards to talk about. Yeah. All right, we are going to talk about the 5th scenario in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. Wave 9, 17 total cards, 13 by title. Tonight we're going to look at like 5 of them, plus the S.H.I.E.L.D. Executive Board modular set and some Executive Board Evidence modular set. This is going to be a roller coaster of a set of cards. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to walk through how the progression of a game through the scenarios, through Zemo, through the board. Then we're going to talk about sort of the non-campaign version of it. We're going to kind of focus on that because we will talk campaign at a later date. So why don't somebody read us Zemo's manipulations?
I'd be happy to. Zemo's manipulations. It's his main scheme 1A. Contents are Baron Zemo or Baron Zemo B. So there's A1 and B1. B for expert. And it also
B for expert. Isn't it going to be
B for expert.
Never mind. Go on. Keep going.
It comes with the Baron Zemo set, of course, but also the Shield Executive Board, the Executive Board Evidence, and the standard encounter sets are all required. It has 2 recommended modular encounter sets, which are the Scientist Supreme and the Shield encounter set, all from the Agents of Shield box. The setup for this scheme is to prepare the evidence. So there's a section in the rule book, which we will be talking about, that tells you how to prepare the evidence. And if you're playing in campaign mode, you've kind of already done that to a little bit. You're going to put each board member environment into play. And if you're not playing campaign mode, you place 2 secret counters on each board member environment. So they all start with a little bit of evidence on them or secret counters on them.
Okay. Keep going.
So then we flip it over to the 1B side. It has 12 threat per player as the threat threshold. It starts with 2 threat per player and adds 2 threat per player per turn. It has a response after the player phase ends. The first player may place 2 secret counters on a board member environment that has no secret counters on it to gain 2 cards from the shield envelope, something we set up during that evidence setup piece. 1 card instead in campaign mode, and the players may advance to stage 2A to make their accusation. So if you choose to accuse, you can advance to stage 2A, or you can just get them and not make an accusation. You don't have to do an accusation. So you can stay on stage 1 and do this response repeatedly once per turn, right? As long as you can place 2 secret counters on a board member that has no secret counters on it, you can do this action. And then once you're ready to make your accusation, you flip to stage 2A. Now, if this stage is completed with that 12 threat per player threshold, the players lose the game. It does not go to another scheme. This is your main scheme until you're ready to find out who the mole is.
Yeah. Way back on the first card, okay, not way back, but 1 card before, you said we have to prepare the evidence. So, Chris, you got to tell us, how do we prepare the evidence? What does that even mean? We've never had to prepare evidence before. I mean, we have planted evidence, but I've never had to prepare it. So,
All right. So to prepare the evidence, so as it said, you're instructed to prepare them. And we're saying that we're not playing in campaign mode. So what you have to do then is there are 9 evidence cards. There are 3 sets of 3 for different kinds of evidence. I believe, what are they off the top of my head? They are means, motives, and opportunity. So you take each one of those piles of 3, you shuffle them up, and then you pull 1 card from each of those 3 sets and put them aside. That is how you determine who the mole is. So after you've got those set aside, you take the remaining 6 cards, shuffle them all together, and put them in. The game itself comes with a little envelope that has the AIM logo on it. They have one that's the AIM logo, one that's in the Shield logo. I apologize. You put the 3 that are the true means, motive, and opportunity into the AIM envelope, and you put the 6 other cards into the Shield envelope. And so those are your evidence that you're looking for, where it talked about in the main scheme 1B, where you could put 2 secret counters to gain 2 cards from a Shield envelope, or 1 if you're in the campaign mode. And then if you've ever played the game Clue, that's how you whittle down and you start making inferences on what the means, what the motive, and what the opportunity was, because, oh, I see these 2 cards, that means it's not this one and it's not this one. And then you go through it, and once you've effectively found those 6 cards, you know exactly what 3 that are in the AIM envelope, or if you're feeling lucky, you can make a guess before you know all 6 cards for sure and hope that you guessed right.
yeah. So if we look at the response on 1B, if a board member environment has no secret counters on it because there's a way to remove them, you can add 2 secret counters to get 2 cards out of that Shield envelope. So you get to look at 2 random cards. Because when you create the AIM and the Shield deck, you're not looking at anything. It has to all be done secretly, right? So you get to pull 2 more out of the Shield, and you're like, all right, It's not these two, like Chris said. And then you could repeat stage 1 again at the end of every player phase. As long as you're on 1B, you can pull 2 cards, and 1 out of campaign mode, because, like you said, in campaign mode, you're doing a bunch of other things throughout the game. So you're already collecting other cards. So you're whittling it down. Tactically, like you said, the best option is, I've looked at all 6 cards. I know what the other 3 are. But that might not always work because your health is really low. The threat on the main scheme is super high, and you don't see a way to get rid of it. So you just kind of have to move on faster than you anticipate with like imperfect knowledge, and you're going to have to guess at some point.
And it is interesting because based on the arrangement of which cards you draw, there are ways to deduce who exactly is the mole and what their means, motive, and opportunity were without revealing all 6 cards. Because there are some combinations that just don't really line up, right? You might be able to say, oh, well, I know it's this one because of these, and these. And you could probably get very close to guessing what the other one is. And be like, oh, well, it's either this or this, and either way, the means is still the same. It's just this or this motive, and it's the same person. So I can guess the same person. I might just miss what piece of evidence it is. I might not get what their means is, but you could still deduce what the mole is, right? So there's kind of 2 stages of guessing, which we'll get into maybe when we talk about the accusation.
Yeah, let's not do that first, because first we have to talk about Zemo. Like, we have to fight Zemo while we're doing this, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So let's look at Zemo's card. Baron Zemo on A1. This is the standard version. 3 scheme for your standard version. 2 attack. He's a Thunderbolt. Forced to interrupt when Baron Zemo would be defeated. Reset his hit points to 12. Instead, remove 3 secret counters among board member environments. He has 12 health, just straight up 12. And then his quote is, arrest them by order of the executive board. Now his expert version, he's a 4 scheme, 2 attack, Thunderbolt. And when Zemo would be defeated, you reset his hit points to 16 and remove 3 secret counters from board environments because he has a static 16. So that's one way to pull these counters off of the board members, is by defeating Zemo. So, but we need to know about these board members. I think we let Chris read a card. Chris, why don't you tell us about
the mole?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me tell you about the chief medical officer. The chief medical officer is actually an environment and a board member. And I really just have to say, damn it, Zemo, I'm a doctor, not a board member. So the chief medical officer environment, like all 3 of the environment officers, are set up. So you have to put them out during setup. And it says if there are 4 or more secret counters here, 3 or more instead if you're in expert mode, you flip the card. And then it has a hero action. Spend 2 energy resources, and you can remove 1 secret counter from the Chief Medical Officer card. Then heal 1 damage from a friendly character. Hero, ally, yourself, another player, doesn't matter. Just 1 damage you can heal because they're a doctor, not a board member.
Maybe they're both. So, yeah, and flipping, if it gets 4 or more and it flips, that's bad for the players. Flipping the board member is bad for the players. But Chris, there's 2 more. Why don't you kind of skim through them and tell us what they are?
I can tell you about the other one. So the next one up is the Chief Surveillance Officer. Again, environment, board member, setup. Same thing. If there are 4 more secret counters, flip the card. 3 or more in expert mode. Their hero action is spend 2 mental resources to remove the secret counter. Then you get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Okay. And the last of the board is the Chief Tactical Officer. So same setup and flipping instructions, but their hero action is to spend 2 physical resources to remove a secret counter from them, and then deal 2 damage to an enemy. So deal the damage, not an attack, gets around guard, can clear off a tough, whatever you need to do with it.
I do like that the Healy protection is a green colored card, the thwarting is a yellow colored card, and the damage is a red colored card. That helps me a lot.
I was a little taken aback because the medical officer is energy resources, and energy resources are yellow, but the surveillance officer is yellow, who uses mental resources, and mental resources are blue, but there isn't a blue.
Well, that's because protection cards typically use energy, and justice cards typically use mental. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
so
nice theming here.
the game starts in a non-campaign mode, there's 2 secret counters on each one of these. You can beat up Zemo to remove a total of 3 in any combination, or you can just spend double resources to remove more and get a bonus. And when you remove them with Zemo's ability, no bonus action. You don't get to heal or remove threat, right? You just, that's that.
Yeah, I will say that. Oh, just real quick, I just want to point out that for the environment, the board member environments, it is not limited to once per turn or once per phase. If you have enough resources, if you're playing Bishop or Jubilee or somebody like that, and you've got six energy resources in your hand, you can do that hero action 3 times if they
Yeah,
have 3
good point.
secret counters on them.
And it's not limited per number of players. In a 4-player game, everyone could do it as many times as they wanted, as long as there are secret counters to be removed, right?
Yep.
I mean, I guess maybe not.
Actually,
Spend
no.
2 resources, then there's the
It's not a-
arrow. So
Yeah, it's not the cost.
yeah, it's not the cost, it's just the effect. Interesting. So I don't know if I ever really noticed that. Okay, so let's say though, we're a couple rounds in. We have collected a bunch of evidence cards, and we are comfortable now to move on. And the player phase ends. We advance to 2A. What are we going to do, Scott? What are we going to do?
Well, you've gathered all the evidence you can. All that remains is to make your accusation. So the accusation is Scheme 2A. When revealed, you make an accusation by guessing a means, a motive, and an opportunity, along with the board member associated with that combination in the campaign log. Keep in mind, the campaign log is really important for this. We talked about it earlier. You need it to do this. You can get a printout of the final page, or you can copy it or whatever, but you need that last page of the campaign log.
Yeah.
Whoever you pick, that person is the accused. And then
Not
we're
to
going
be
to flip.
not to be confused with Ronan's attachment, The Accused,
Correct.
where he gets to punch you harder or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It's our turn to accuse someone else.
Okay. Good.
So now we are Ronan, and we have accused one of these 3 executive officers. So we're going to flip to stage 2B of the accusation, which has no threat threshold. There's no threat on it. You don't add threat to it. This card just exists to resolve our accusation. When it's revealed, you're going to do the following. You're going to use the cards in the aim envelope to identify the mole to the best of your ability. For each guess you got wrong, right? So you guess means, motive, opportunity, and board member, right? You have 4 guesses that you've made. For each guess you got wrong, place 1 secret counter on each board member card. If you accused the wrong board member, place 3 secret counters on the accused, and then you're going to advance to stage 3A. So if you flat out guess and guess wrong across the board, you're putting enough counters on all of the board members to just flip every single one of them. So you kind of got to be careful and thoughtful about what you're doing. There's that push and pull of, are we ready to make our guess? Can we afford to get 1 or 2 wrong? Where are we at? But whoever you accused, if you accuse the wrong board member, you're putting 3 on them, which automatically flips them because you got at least 1 wrong. So you're going to put 4 overall on that board member.
Okay, right. If you get 2 pieces of evidence incorrect, you're putting 2 secret counters on all 3 board members.
Correct.
Then the accused that you got wrong gets another 3, making it a 5. And it says if there's 4 or more in standard, flip it. So you could end up at step 2 or step 3, hopefully not step 2. But maybe you made an accusation and you left, there were secret counters on somebody already at a 2 or a 3.
That's right.
And you got something wrong. So you're going to have to sort of pause in the middle of this to flip those guys over and then continue on, right?
That's right.
Right. We'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah, because you finally get to look at those cards you tucked in the aim, and they're different. The means, motive, opportunity are different things. There's medical records or money or location tracking, right? There's all these different symbols when we're saying means, motive, opportunity. You can look at the campaign log, and there's these different colored symbols and stuff like that. They're not super. It's not like Colonel Mustard in the atrium with the candlestick. It's not as flavorful, I don't think, but it is more modern and accurate, right? They've got their ID badge, with some cash using the medical records or something like that. So
yeah, they kind of make sense for the different ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have made the accusation. We have advanced to 3A. Let me tell you about that. Fighting Zemo. You unmask Zemo's deception and expose his associate's identity. When revealed, flip Baron Zemo to his unmasked side and reset his hit points to his printed hit point value. Find Baron Zemo's sword and attach it to him. All right, and we're going to flip to 3B, Fighting Zemo. It has a 12 threat per player threshold, starts at no threat. It goes up by 2 per player. Bring Baron Zemo and his accomplice to justice. All right. When revealed, flip the mole to its attachment side and attach it to Baron Zemo. Place 1 threat per player here for each secret counter on each board member attachment, not environment. Okay. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. So we'll talk about it in a second, but when you flip the board member environment, you're always going to flip the mole, whether you guess them correct or not. Because now you've exposed them. You said, he's the bad guy. And then he says, what? I guess I am. Ha ha ha. And I'm joining with Zemo. And none of the tokens leave. You don't remove secret counters when they flip or anything like that. So you could have a whole bunch on there. Maybe you got it wrong and he flips and now he's got 5 or 6 on him. Or maybe he had a few on it when it started. So those convert into additional threat, starting threat, which is why it starts at 0. Something could be on there depending on how well you're doing, right?
Yeah, you get a 6, 8, even 10 threat on here just from those secret counters per player, right? Place 1 threat per player. So if you had 8 total secret counters by the time you reveal this, and there's 3 of you playing, that's 24 threat on the main scheme.
Yeah, holy cow. Yeah. Hopefully hopefully Zemo is doing so well that happens to those heroes. But chances are
you want to be a good hero.
Yeah, hopefully a player is not putting that much threat on. Like you're in bad shape as a hero, I think, if you're putting that much threat out. You definitely just had to take a wild shot in the dark, I think. But we're flipping Zemo. So somebody tell us about the flipped Zemo.
Sure, I would love to tell you. So Baron Zemo, A2, is a villain. He still has his 3 scheme and 2 attack, and the Thunderbolts, but now the unmasked trait. But each scheme and attack has an asterisk, and that translates to a forced interrupt. When Baron Zemo activates against you, either place 1 secret counter on a board member card, or give Baron Zemo an additional boost card for this activation, and he comes in with 18 hit points. And so that secret counter doesn't matter if it's the mole attachment side or a environment side. Now, you'll probably want to put it on a non-attachment side since it's more likely to be helpful to heroes, but you should play it risky and put it on the attachment side.
Well,
If you're choosing to play it.
You could put it on the environment side, and that would be the 4th one because they can still flip at this point, right? You still have to manage
flip
that
at any time. Apparently, you just annoy the board members so much that they just decide to join Baron Zemo in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
Or they see how things are going and are just like, I'm hooking my wagon up to this guy.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that if you put it on the environment side, every time you put a secret counter on him, he has or she has an effect, right? They have their own effects when they're on that environment side, right? Or the attachment side, I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, wait. Read the second. B2. B2.
Yep. So if you're choosing to play in expert mode, he goes up to a 4 scheme 2 attack. This time, however, he is steady on expert, and his forced interrupt on both the scheme and attack is now when Baron Zemo activates against you. You choose to either place 2 secret counters on a board member card or give Zemo an additional boost card for this activation, and he has 22 hit points in expert per player in expert mode.
Yeah, once we flip him to his unmasked size, his hit points become per player. 18 per player, 22 per player, not 12 static. Not, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
He's a downright villain.
Yes, he is.
He gets that buff when he gets unmasked, that's for sure.
Yeah, so well, can I afford a secret counter? Do I want him to have 2 boost cards for this activation? Right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's work our way through. If a board member flips either early in the game because you haven't been able to remove secret counters, because they can flip early. Maybe they're the mole and they flip. Maybe they're flipping now because Zemo is attacking you and you don't have anywhere to put the token and it ends up flipping one. So, Scott, why don't you tell us about that medical officer?
Ooh, Medical Officer's Aid. Once he's an attachment, they're giving aid. They're a board member attached to the villain, permanent. It has a forced response. After a secret counter is placed here, either heal 2 damage from the villain or deal 1 damage to the friendly character with the fewest remaining hit points. It gives +1 attack, and if there are 3 board member attachments in play, the players lose the game.
Ooh, alternate loss condition. All right.
Alternate loss.
So you could lose by flipping all 3 board members. You can lose because Zemo can just straight out kill you. You can lose because the main scheme advances. I like this. Yeah, I like this.
Also, the medical officer can kill you, right? Like,
yes.
So, if you can't heal Zemo because he's at full health and you only have 1 friendly character and you only have 1 health left, I mean, the medical officer can take out Deadpool, right? Like,
oh yeah, yep, yeah, because it's after he activates schemes or attacks, he puts a token out. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Watch out for that.
The officer was healing you. Medical's now healing him or dealing damage. Yeah. All right. Well, let me tell you about the Surveillance Officer's Aid. It is the board member attachment attached to the villain with permanent. It's going to give Zemo +1 scheme. So in expert, he's scheming for 5 before you give him 2 boost cards. Like insane. Okay. Forced response. After a secret counter is placed here, place 2 threat on the main scheme. If there are 3 board members in play, the players lose the game. All right. So, all right, Chris, give us the last one so we can talk about them as a group.
Yep. So the Tactical Officer's Aid. Same thing, board member attached to villain permanent. It gives Zemo +1 attack as well. And then force response after a secret counter is placed here, deal 2 damage to a friendly character. And then same thing, if there are all 3 of them are out, we lose.
I kind of wish the Medical Officer's Aid could have provided Zemo with like +1 defense. I know villains don't have defense, but like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Instead, they got the attack.
When they heal him, which is the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
Putting health back on him.
Yeah. I'd like to see. It's interesting that we don't get a defense stat for the villain. It's only taken me 7 years to think of this, but like we do get cards where it's like reduce the amount of damage the villain takes by 1. That would just be a defense stat, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a final card here that goes on Zemo just by virtue of flipping to 3A when you're fighting Zemo. He's like, all right, I'm going to draw my sword. Baron Zemo's sword. It is a weapon attachment attached to Baron Zemo. Forced response after Baron Zemo attacks and defeats a character. Place 1 secret counter on the board member environment with the fewest secret counters. It gives him +2 attack. He could be really big. With the hero action, spend 3 physical or 3 energy resources. Remove 1 secret counter from a board member environment and discard this card. 2 boost icons.
This is tough to get rid of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, he's hitting for a
unless
lot.
Unless you've got Sunfire out or you're playing Shadowcat and can just cheat his sword away from him.
True.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that new defense event, too, that does that.
Oh, yeah.
But straight up having the 3 of the same. I mean, Hulk could do it. Captain Marvel could do it, right? They have some of those cards, but a lot of times you don't necessarily have 3 of the same thing. And 3 resources is just 3 of any resources is a good amount, right? So
yeah, that's a lot to spend.
I'm interested to know why they chose the fewest secret counters as opposed to the most secret counters.
Well, the one with the fewest more likely pushes you to the loss condition, because the one with the most, you won't lose.
It's the environment. Damage. It's not the environment card, not the attachment.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. You have to place it on an environment. There might only be 1, or if there's a couple, it's pushing you. It's whichever one you're trying to keep lowest is what it's putting it on, right? I don't know. To me, that kind of makes.
I think Chris is right.
Countering what you're trying to keep.
I think the designers are showing some hero bias here, and it should go on the one with the most so that it flips faster.
I see what you're saying. Because if it's the environment, not the attachment, it would be the one that hasn't flipped yet, but that's closest to flipping.
Yeah.
Especially since it only happens when he attacks and defeats a character.
Right.
It would be one thing if it was after he attacks or, after he activates or something like that. But since it's got that caveat of defeats, it'd be kind of neat to push him to push the loss condition a little bit closer.
Right. You'd have to be like, ooh, do I chump block? Because that'll flip the tactical officer or do I try to defend his, 5 attack or something like that? So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well, I think we succinctly worked through what is one of the most complicated scenarios, I
Very,
think, to date, right? I think we did a
very
pretty good job.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
patting myself on the back.
yeah, me too. I mean, it tells a story. It has the neat play of like a Hela or an Ensabanur. Like you need to do these things and progress the story, and a lot of those are remove threat in order to advance the story. This is deal with secret counters and figure things out instead to progress the story, which I think is pretty neat. Like it's definitely a departure from your basic punch him in the face scenario.
It very much is. Very much so. I think it can feel a little complicated. I think once you've played it a few times, it's really not that bad. You kind of settle into a rhythm with him. It's a bit more to set up, but the whole how it handles and everything is actually pretty manageable in my experience.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not bad, and I actually like the fact that you have to think about and manage other things than just the threat. Because hit points will come down as hit points come down. Threat's usually the only thing you have to really pay attention to, but this one you've got to manage. Oh, do I put the secret counter on this person? Or, oh, they're too high. I guess I got to give them another activation for this. Or do I just not care that he's going to heal 2 damage?
Mhm.
I'll put one on the surveillance or, the medical officer attachment. I don't care. All those different combinations that you can manage and play around with, I think is a fun little twist for this one.
And
Yeah,
to your point too, Mako, like you have to manage those secret counters, because even if you're in a good position on the board, you have healthy heroes, and you feel like you've got like the pain train rolling, and now you're just dishing out damage on Zemo, and you're like, awesome, we can totally win. Let's just push through and kill him. All it takes is one bad encounter phase. If you're not keeping those secret counters down, for them to add up and for you to lose, right? He can downright win even when it seems like the heroes have the advantage by convincing the board effectively to side with him. So that alternative loss condition, I think, also creates some added interesting tension that you really have to watch out for and can really stymie the heroes in a way that other heroes can't, to like make space for Zemo to kind of fight his way back. It makes a more interesting push and pull, I feel, a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? We haven't even looked at his encounter cards yet and how
We
they
haven't.
play into this. We're gonna have to save that for next week. So let's not do any more analysis of Zemo yet until we have looked at his entire suite of cards, shall we? I guess I think we're ready to go here.
Yeah, if people want to tell us what they think Daniel's next song should be, or how much they
Ooh.
absolutely loved Daniel's song and Darcy's, obviously with his help and Steve's, to all those involved, or if they just want to tell us how we're wrong about Baron Zemo so far.
Oh, we don't
How
want to
could they
hear
do
that, but okay.
We need to know which
Absolutely.
ones are on our side and who's the mole.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, good call. Are you the mole?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Please let us know so that we can exploit you. But if you want to tell us who the mole is, or send your congratulations to Daniel for the wonderful song that he did, you can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. And we are Critical Encounters on Facebook, or you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Maka, Lexicon, and Vardane. And Big Foam Love. Can't forget him.
Oh boy.
If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Zemo, take us out.
You have done well, my Thunderbolts. Or perhaps I should use your other code names: Fixer, Beetle, Screaming Mimi, Goliath, and Moonstone. In time, my friends, the world will discover what a viper it has clasped to its breast. But by then, it will be too late. Far too late.
You're right. I think it is community theater. That is a lot of drama in that monologue there.
It really
Yep.
is.
It really is.
A viper clasped to the breast.
myself, mastermind with flair, cloak and dagger and a grand design, a villain debonair. I took a crew, has-beens and rogues, gave them all a name, shine them up like heroes bright, and drop them into the game. Pleased to meet you, hope you know my name. What's puzzling you is my whole masquerade. So spare some sympathy for the villain, and applause and a grand ovation. You bought the act and you loved the line, gave us a standing ovation. So I'm pleased to meet you, and I hope you know my name. Oh, yeah. And what's puzzling you is my whole masquerade. Spotlight hits, now cue the name. Now cue the names. Songbird, I hear that siren soul. Moonstone power, craving more. Atlas holding up the sky. Fixer wires twisting every lie. Mach 4 screaming through the air. Blizzard ice cold, now don't you dare. Truck laughing in the fray, encore. I hear the people say, Black Widow's secret spinning crimson snare. Joystick came on, chaos in the air. Radioactive men glowing bright with gamma flare. They saved the streets, they took their bows. The crowd believed it anyhow. Flip the page and the truth's in view. The villains were the heroes you knew. I'm pleased to meet you, a most spectacular scheme. Turns out the line between wrong and right is thinner than it seems. Spotlight fades, the thunder rolls. The crowd's still begging for more, because a villain in a hero's cape, well, that's who you're cheering for. So if you meet me face to face, you finally know my name. What's been puzzling you all along? Baron helmet, Zemo's the name.